Hello.
Yo, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Ready for the excitement to begin.
Yahoo!
Potential get our butt handed to us.
As long as it's not confusing like the Realm living painting ones,
Yeah, right.
that might be okay. Oh, hi. Aw, we don't get to hear him talk.
Ball cap. And I suppose they would have a hard time doing him justice.
It's true. Look at that at least. Oh, he wants the tank share.
You believe it? We can stop playing after tonight. We've only been playing the game the last few months, right?
Yeah, I gotta turn my music down.
Oh yeah.
I might have got hit by that. Alright. What in the world is happening? Oh, that's right. He tries to trick us, doesn't he? I forgot about that.
Dude.
Nice.
Oh snap. Oh my god. That thing's awesome. Let everyone die so I can watch this.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Whee! No, I can really watch it all.
Oh, people can fall off. Good thing I didn't. It's better than
Yeah.
the
But you're gonna hate it. Our corpses appear on the platform.
What's up?
You're gonna hate it. Our corpses appear on the platform. Oh hey, the tower went away. Oh no, there it is. Oh. My background music is up.
Here. So I think you're okay. I actually can't hear our background music. I want to be able to hear you.
Actually, you're breaking up a little. So am I okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Oh, I read it that wrong. I have no clue what I'm looking for.
It looks like he does a question mark if he's doing the opposite. You'll see like these question mark
Okay,
things
I
flying around.
noticed those, but I think I assumed that's just what we would see from now on.
Yeah,
So
that
like,
one.
okay, you never know.
That one didn't have it.
Okay.
Like that one does
Listen,
have it.
listen. Okay.
It's a really pretty Ultima.
to look away from the image, the statue.
What's up?
I don't know, if between his looking and then the statue had a big question mark, maybe I looked. I don't know.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Sadly. Not sure why.
Don't mind me.
Oh, turkey.
Did the other person res you?
The other person knew what?
Did he res you?
I don't know. Let me take a look. No, I'm dead.
Alright, I got you.
Okay.
He was really fast getting me, so I was just hoping to get you. Oops. I don't know why that person took the back right into him. No.
Oh, what?
Wait,
This is,
what?
it must be Savage.
No.
Because there's definitely, I'm pretty sure, a final version. Like the what you would expect.
Yeah. I thought I had seen that. And
Yeah.
they would definitely be doing this a grave injustice.
Agreed.
Did not make it to the end.
Oh. But yeah,
I guess we're not done here yet. We have to go through Savage.
Yeah.
Not that there's any doubt, but like, there's now added.
Yeah. Like they're even.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're even panning the camera.
Whew. I mean, lots of dying, but still, that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, nothing competes with the train, but
yeah, right. Like that was the complete unknown, so that still actually tops this, just because not even knowing it. Oh, and definitely have to roll this a ton. Yeah.
Oh, congrats.
Thanks. To get the orchestra, and then of course, I will run this as many times as you would like.
No, it's
Wind up or orchestra.
It's fine.
Omega has never watched Dragon Ball Z.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your wind up, homie? Oh, that
Oh,
too.
wait, you said when?
That too.
Wall.
Let's see it. Oh, here. Why you do that? Where is it? Never find the ones I'm looking for. Nope.
I hope he rides my shoulder. And what are you looking for?
1 second. Where are you? I don't know, I can never find these little minions in this list. Bummer, where are you? I know I have it, right? Maybe I don't have it. Maybe I'm a crazy person. Hold on, let's go down the list real quick. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe I've only seen it and don't actually have it. It's very underwhelming, even if I did find it. Oh yeah, I don't have it apparently. I was looking for the Emperor Gestalt. Dog.
Oh.
But...
Wait, dog or doll?
Dog. It's a little doggy,
huh?
but I thought we got it from the story, but apparently not.
Emperor Gestalt related.
How many minions do you have? Oh my god. Oh, never mind. It's because I'm in group pose. Your person's stop asking that. So I thought you had like 1 million.
Wait, what?
Because group pose repeats what your last action was. I forgot I was in group pose and it looked like you were just casting like 1 million minions. I was like, how many do you have in your inventory?
Got it. That's funny.
I'm just taking some close-up photos for you.
Cool.
That's weird. Huh? Cool. Thanks. I assume this is the next. I assume this is Savage.
Omega.
Are you sure it's not?
Oh.
I assumed it was Savage for what we just did.
Oh.
But maybe not.
Know.
Mostly just because it's the worker, but I won't pick it up because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Although I think the last one was through Jesse's, maybe not. Or the terminal or something. Plus we haven't actually finished it yet. Plus we haven't actually finished it yet, so it probably isn't that.
Yeah. Also, I had no clue that Nero was just beat up. He was acting like he was possessed or something.
I thought he was, yeah, I
So,
thought he had like a sickness in him or something, like something deeper.
yeah, yeah, me
Or he
too.
was possessed, like you said.
Yeah.
Like he was poisoned outside of a military camp.
That's some foul purple water.
Hmm. I'm not sure which one you picked, but my response was quit.
My two was quack, but an
Come on,
emphasis
come
on
on,
the
Square.
quack. Right.
There we go. Now we can do Savage.
Yeah. As we're lulled to
Um,
sleep by relaxing music that unlocks a very savage memory, or how this thing's supposed to work.
yeah. Do you want a queue for your dungeon?
Sure.
Alright, what job would you like to go as?
Ooh, I would do Dark Knight, I think.
I don't think you can do Dark Knight. That's too low. Doesn't have to be like 70 something?
What dungeon are you wanting to do?
Oh, I thought the MSQ one.
Huh?
I thought you meant the MSQ one. Didn't you say you hadn't done it yet? Do and Meg?
Oh, that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know which dungeon you wanted to do. Yeah. Okay, what are we doing?
73, it looks like.
I will do. I'm actually doing pretty decent. I'm not having to actually go out of my way to keep my main people leveled. Summoner's just barely into 76. Bard is a literal hair from 75. And Red Mage is about a fifth way into 74.
My Scholar fell off, so I'll take Scholar.
Cool. Let's see. Red Mage.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We get instant Q, we'll see. Yep. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just putting on clothes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, one more.
In theory, I kept all the, well, I shouldn't say in theory. I kept all the NPCs alive, so in theory, you guys will be okay.
Oh, nice. Oh, I finally did the trust for the first one, and from as advertised, they knew their stuff. So
Yeah, they do.
I wouldn't even say it like took longer exactly. It was longer maybe in that it wasn't big polls of multiple groups, but
Yeah,
otherwise, like, it seemed to run just fine.
I would agree. I feel like I took longer. That was about it.
Yeah.
But
If that
I
one,
mean,
I don't remember what I was doing on the
like
phone
in
or something.
like in theory, if you're a tank, you could do bigger pulls. I don't know if they
Yeah,
could.
right.
Like to think they could handle it, but who knows?
Actually, I wonder what happened if you tried to run ahead of them and like pulled future groups.
True.
I might be curious to try. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I don't know that it, yeah, necessarily adds as much maybe as I would like. Like it feels fun. Like, yay, I'm running along with Alice or Crystal XR to do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it didn't really have much of a, I guess, awesome feeling to it.
I would agree with
It
that.
really just, I think, as they intended, it's if you want a solo, there you go.
Yep.
But it was cool. I like the idea of it. Oh yeah, this is the danger of
Oh my gosh, what are you guys doing? What is happening here?
running with random people.
They are being crazy. I don't want to be here anymore. The NPCs
Let them
were
die.
much
That'll teach them.
nicer. Oh my gosh.
That is, I think, the.
I think they're going to die. I'm not even trying to.
I would do it. Just
Yep, you
take
did.
a breath. Yeah. Feel me. I got this. Hopefully he'll learn his lesson. Yeah, it would be cool if they had allowed trust to be different sizes. Like if you and I were able to do a trust.
Agreed. That would be really cool.
That would be nice.
Yes.
They say how we like to play.
Right. Let's not talk about that. Okay. Oh, I forgot to eat.
When I was doing main story roulette earlier, I actually tossed one of the squadron rewards that gives 15% bonus, which I think stacks on top of the 3% bonus.
You say you tossed it?
I don't know. I guess if I said toss, I didn't mean it that way. I meant like I tossed it on, like I put it on.
Oh, you used
I
it.
used it.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah,
what's
just
the
throw it
space for?
Are you able to catch up on Big Brother?
I don't recall. Hold on, let me think. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, I think we're caught up.
Yeah.
I think we're caught up.
Cool.
I wasn't gonna send an email out while I was enjoying my gaming time.
Yeah, no. Priorities, man.
Yeah.
I actually was unable to watch Thursday because of a freaking Chargers game. And the local CBS station here decided to say F you all to everyone and put on football instead of the normal programming.
What?
And when I called multiple people about it, because if I wanted to make a bit of a stink, they're like, oh yeah, you can watch it at 1:30 a.m. or set your DVR for 1:30 a.m.
Nice.
Like that defeats the purpose of
How
the live show, you dumb bat.
how convenient. Yeah, lame.
Yeah, that's stupid. So, and I didn't have a chance to catch up on it. So the show and I watched Sunday. So before it, I said, okay, well, tell me who got let go. Which actually, even then, she didn't tell me. She said, you'll see it in the recap.
Yeah. What's happening?
It's definitely an interesting place.
Yeah.
It's almost like the same. Well, I guess it theoretically could be seen like the same zone, but like a different layer or unit. So it's probably just completely different.
Yeah. I'd say I still am. I'm really displeased with the color palette personally. I don't feel it. But,
Of this place?
yeah. It just feels a little too, like, almost cartoony to me.
Yeah.
But
It's definitely very colorful. Probably not what I would expect, because I thought these were supposed to be water people.
yeah.
And aside from this little pond we're in, nothing about this place elicits the feeling of water. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, so I guess just do that.
Yeah, I don't fully remember, but I'll try to.
But yeah, I would guess like it's whatever cartoony sense you're getting seems intentional.
What's up?
Like I said, I would guess just whatever cartoon kind of sense you're getting seems intentional.
Yeah, agreed.
Like with
Agreed.
whoever these people are.
What the heck? What is that? Oh, that's not the right move.
Okay, that's not the move.
Right move.
Good.
I had like a 2-minute cooldown on what I thought was energy drain, and it wasn't energy drain. That's why.
Oh.
Got the wrong move.
So does energy drain still just?
Not that, Alan. You're a mess.
Oh my god, I'm just not. Wait, are we supposed to stand on top of a small water pile?
I thought so, because that's what I swear I saw the NPCs do. And then when there's bubbles, you move. But I feel like things are happening too crazy every time I try that, and I feel like I should stay away from everything. But who knows?
Oh, I just feel like I kept messing up with that, so yeah, I'll try standing on small bubbles. Oh yeah, so does energy drain, is that just the attack, or does it do something now, or what?
It's just what it used to do. It gives you magic. It uses up a charge. It gives you magic.
Interesting. Do you know how much? Okay.
I don't. I'm just staying away from everything. Oh man, I didn't see that one there. No! You tricked me.
Oh, no.
No! Mother freaker.
Nope, that's not doing it.
Come here, everybody.
Yeah. What's going on there? I guess what I'm curious, so I was just like, this is why I haven't bothered putting it back on my bars, but I pretty much treat the ether charges as like a mana saver in that I use those to heal instead of an actual heal. So I play it that way.
I usually do as
So
well. I only use energy drain when I'm like really low on magic. I'm just this guy's wiping me out, man. I think the advantage of doing the ones that don't have a thing on it is that it won't knock you up. But the problem is, I feel like the turnaround on that is so quick. Dang it. Like, you gotta have... I feel like I have pretty fast reflexes, and it's crushing me.
I still have no clue what's going on with that one. I don't know. Oh, good.
This is the part I like better.
The loot?
No.
Oh, this part of the dungeon?
I was displeased until I was like, okay, I can get behind this now.
Wait, displeased until what?
The luck of the dungeon.
Oh.
Until they did this, and then I was okay with it.
Okay. I recall the actual zone this is in. I hated the start of it. Like, whatever they did to make it that foggy, washed out look.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
couldn't see shit, couldn't read text or anything. Like, and I thought just the normal light blinding weather was bad as far as like brightness and everything, and but geez, I hated this zone starting out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'll let you finish.
oh no, I guess I didn't know at first that it was part of the fairy spell.
Mm-hmm.
I just figured, well, this is what the light weather looks like in this place, so that's just gonna suck.
Yeah.
But then it got much better once out of the fairy spell, and it just cleared.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I actually didn't realize at all that it was a thing. Like, I just assumed that was, well, until I took it off, and I was like, oh, yeah, I guess it was very bright.
Yeah.
Like, I remember taking a lot of group post photos and be like, this is not looking good at all. Like, none of these filters are too way bright and whatever. So, yeah, they turned it down as well, but I agree. I think they could have done... I don't know how they would explain that, but I feel like they could have definitely explained that better.
Yeah. Like, maybe we were supposed to notice, maybe it was different when you very first entered the zone, even if it was, like, within a couple of dialogue boxes. You were under their sway, and so it would have changed.
Yeah. I'm happy this lady's not doing crazy pulls now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I don't know what.
Zone related, dungeon related.
No idea related. Oh, I'm close. I felt it on my brain. It's not that. So what made me start to think about it, so I'll just start talking about it, maybe it'll lighten the load on my brain and I'll get there. But what made me think about whatever I was about to say was that I started leveling randomly Dragoon, and I have that as my next. I'm doing the job quest actually unlock Dragoon, because I've just had Lancer. My Lancer's like 30 something, but the job quest, or I guess class quest, was only at like 15, so I've been doing those. And I'm finally at the unlock the actual Dragoon part of it.
Nice.
And I'm excited to get jump, but I don't know, that wasn't really anything important, I was just mostly telling you. But, I don't know what the other thing is.
Do you think something about Jump or Dragoon or Lancer made you think of something?
No, it was just the idea of talking about what I'm doing, I think, is what made me think of that. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh.
But I'm not sure what. I don't think there's anything specifically Dragoon related. But I guess since I'm telling you things I'm doing, all the quests again. Don't feel bad about it. But I'm doing the those ones are, I guess, a little more special. There's actually one, because some on sometimes like have like a few quests where they'll have like a cutscene, and so I did one while this was in my mind about what I'm gonna keep doing it or not, where I was like still doing them legit. I'd finished it and I was like, I didn't really get anything important from that. Like, it was more than a normal one, but it still wasn't amazing. And then I thought about the one that I did before that, which I remembered still, and I agreed that one I hadn't either, so I decided it's okay to just skipping those all. So I'm skipping those all just for experience. Most of the time I'm leaving them actually, but then when I have time I'll clear them out.
Yeah.
Just reading the plus ones.
Yeah.
So, not important at all, but just sharing. And eventually I'll remember what I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get well, actually, this is main story progress right here. So after this, I'll definitely get some quests going. I just get a few done this week. But part of me is thinking I'm... I was supposed to do something. Oops. Sorry.
Fun fact about sorry, fact about that real quick before you talk is that I was blocking one because I did this one with Trust. I was blocking it, like I picked it up on it pretty quick. That's what you're supposed to do. I was blocking it, and then Minfilia, who was blocking one, literally left the one she was doing at the last minute and came and blocked mine. So then one went by. I was like, "What the heck's wrong with you?" And then she tried to do it again, and then this time I was ready for her, and so I stopped it and fixed it. But I just thought that was pretty funny that she was like basically trolling me.
That is pretty funny.
Alright, sorry, continue.
Oh yeah, part of me is thinking I'm being a bit too lax with main story quests, doing stuff like my gold saucer stuff and daily roulettes that I honestly don't need, because I don't need the poetic, I don't need the experience. So part of me does wonder if I'm doing too much of that, or if it's fine and it's okay that we're just kind of taking a more relaxed approach to the main story. Even though at this point I'm now the behind one, so
yeah.
I also have me thinking like, I need to pick it up a little bit. And why I was saying that is because, wow, if I can't move, then I can't stop the cast. Why I said that is because I was about to say, like, oh yeah, I have tournament stuff to do. And really, I think that was it. So does anything. Like, well, I just got my 2 million mount, so I could probably take it easy. But it's like the weekly stuff for Gold Saucer is really the stuff that adds up. Like that's how you save. It's to do the tournament and the fashion report and like those big weekly ones. So that's why it's, you've seen how my mind works. Like it's hard to turn off that like min-maxing kind of mentality.
Yep.
It's really difficult for myself.
I mean, I would think for the most part though, Gold Saucer doesn't, I guess unless you're doing the challenge log, Gold Saucer doesn't like eat up that much time. Like for fashion report, I got like trying to think through it and such, but like if you're just literally grabbing things and throwing them, I think that's pretty quick. But like in terms of, if you're doing all the gates and everything, then for the challenge log, that's a little slower. And I guess the tournament's slow.
Oh yeah, the tournament even for the NPCs. I mean, it still might only be, say, I don't know, let's say call it 20 or 30 minutes, but that's some time to save. I do the challenge log because that is a fairly easy, like 15 to 20,000 or something like that. Plus, add in doing the gates for the challenge log. Like it's really probably closer to, like 20 to 30,000 range. So
yeah. So that's definitely that's beefy.
Yeah. So yeah, just kind of trying to do at least be aware, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. I've been I sometimes will randomly get something from the challenge log, but I haven't actually looked at it and like sought anything out from it in a very long time. Which is weird. And roulettes, I only do those for the most part with the group these days. I haven't been doing those. I was doing the PvP one, but that was only because I wanted the mount.
Yeah.
I thought about it, kind of, since my scholar was behind, but then I'm like, well, if I have the time, I'd rather be doing something else. And I don't care if this job gets behind a little bit. I can always catch it up later, someday. And, so, I don't know, I just don't have as much of a draw currently, but I know that kind of wins with me. Like, I will want to do it later. And then I'll be like, oh, I wish I had more time. Or I wish I had more. It would be kind of cool if you could build them up, but I guess that would defeat the point.
To throw what?
To be like, I don't want to use this right now, can I save this one for another day? Like, rather than having the same, like, every single one being unique, being like, I would like to save, I would like to not do any roulettes today and save, be able to do 2 of these one tomorrow or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, I think for kind of the exact reason that both of us are talking about, WoW made that change some years back where they had exactly the same thing, daily bonus for running various. They had fewer, I want to say maybe 4, but really I think 3 main roulette categories.
Okay.
And you got a daily bonus. And they changed that to be weekly instead. Whether it's like a full 7 or maybe just 5 bonuses. And it's so that, like, try to limit that sense of having to log in every single day.
Yeah.
And just being able to do it like, if you want to knock them all out in a day.
Uh-huh.
Did you remember what you were going to tell me?
I did. We'll talk about it in a second.
Alright, what's up?
No,
Tell me.
No, it's fine. I'll remember this time.
Okay.
But it's fine. I'll tell you it's WoW related in case I forget.
Oh.
Alright.
So they made the same change with dailies, where again they made them more of a weekly kind of thing, and that was really cool because then you literally could just, if you want to just take a day or whatever, like you could just knock out everything for the week.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
It's basically like what you and I do with, if it'd be like if Wondrous Tales had to be done every day just to get like one of them done, you couldn't do them all back to back.
Exactly. That really is exactly it. It's almost like, why can't they take Wondrous Tales the next step further and apply it to roulette? But
Yeah.
I could also see like part of their reason for various roulette bonuses, especially main story, is like giving those bonus to get people to do it.
To run the content, yeah.
So they probably want that more spread out.
Yeah.
And like
Agreed.
keep that draw of getting people to do it every day.
Yeah.
To accommodate whoever might need it that day. Especially because they have so many. Like they have the 50, 60, 70, they have the leveling, the roulette, the main story, the whatever.
Yeah.
And again, like using the WoW example, like they had, I'm trying to think. I gotta think of just a few, like current dungeons, so whatever current expansion was, older dungeons, and again they had like maybe some other kind of random one, but yeah, so basically just wasn't that many, and there was nothing like a main story. But I don't think we ever actually had to do it in a dungeon. It's pretty good. Anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, that like even as I said it, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna do these ones, so I'll do two of these the next day. I was like, that kind of goes against the whole point of the roulettes and them wanting people to run the content. Because then it's like people might just be like, I'm gonna not do the ones that people actually need just for these two that I do need.
Yeah.
But yeah. What I was going to say is, I no idea why this had anything. It did, definitely. I'm sure it didn't have anything to do with doing. For some reason, that just clicked something in my brain. But maybe the word class and classic actually. Who knows? But point is, WoW class, WoW classic. Let's discuss. What is that? So is that basically, like, I know nothing about it. I just saw that there was a work to game thing about it, and they were talking about that it's starting up. And by the title, it makes it sound like they're bringing back old school just to let people feel that nostalgia.
Yes. Imagine Square saying, here's 1.0 again, have at it.
Yeah. So not any of the cool quality of life stuff, like literally as it started, or are they adding the quality of life but with some
As far as I know, it is all original. So it's called it. Ooh, you have a weapon, nice. Oh wow, I'll take this stuff.
All right, thank you.
So they're calling. So I guess now they're calling it classic WoW, but it was, people always refer to it as vanilla WoW, like vanilla, like pre any expansion. So what I recall it being sold as is exactly that. WoW before the first expansion.
Okay.
Are they doing any cleanup or tweaks? I don't know. Like, were there bugs they later identified and fixed after the fact, and maybe they'll fix those now? Or, like, again, stuff like that, I don't know. But it is meant to be like the vanilla experience. Cool. So all the quality of life stuff over the years of like doing dungeons differently or doing whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, none of that. It is the actual original experience.
It would be funny if like everyone signs up and is like, oh, I'm really excited for this, and then everyone plays it and is like, this sucks.
Yeah,
I miss all this stuff. It's not as good as I remember. Like,
I am really curious how. Yeah, like I know nostalgia is a thing and all, but And also, this boss is just kind of ridiculous. He's funny looking, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
A gentle frog, Phantom of the Opera vibe. Too. Why not? Yeah, like, I know nostalgia is a thing, but also, like, as you said, as we're all grown as adults, and quality of life, a lot of which I think benefits the time aspect. So I am incredibly curious how many people it's going to draw. Oh wow, a lot of people got that. Hey, sweet. I stood in front of them.
I made all these mistakes last time too.
How many people it draws and how long they put out.
Yeah, that definitely seems like it probably won't last. Ooh. Oh, I'm sorry, I remember this one.
Interesting. Okay, that's a real hole.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when you. I don't know what happens when you fall in it, but Thancred totally hacked it and did some crazy jump across it, and I haven't been able to. I've watched the video many times, and I've not been able. I've not been able to figure out. I've not been able to figure out what Thancred did, but it was also funny though because Minfilia was like totally just like, oh, you are allowed to come out. That's cool. I didn't raise you.
Oh yeah, it just, you gotta do what's called Fool's Tumble or something. Oops. Yeah, I was actually too. I might have to run this again with the people.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let me know if Thancred cheats.
Yeah, right. Oh,
and if Minfilia totally just takes her time, doesn't care at all. Like she literally was walking while we were all like at him fighting, and then at some point, I'm pretty sure she just stood there and stopped coming.
Nice. I like what I was doing. Since I was trying, I just kept calling each other. But yeah, I'm curious to see the outcome of it. Like I can't. I don't know. I guess. I'm just still going back, like, thinking about classic WoW. I'm just not. Could it be the equivalent of how we recently played Final Fantasy VI again? You know, classic as like an older version. But I don't know.
I'll be curious as well. Let me know. Let me know what you hear, because I won't be following that world. I'd be curious to know how long it.
I probably won't be following too much, but
You'll know more than I am. Ever. So
yeah, like if the curiosity strikes, I will do it Google maybe.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm just thinking of who would do it. You have people who are currently playing WoW.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I've heard plenty of criticism of like people kind of being over WoW a little bit and not necessarily like losing example. But I'm also sure there are plenty of people who are playing it just fine and enjoying it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, would they stop playing it in order to play Classic? Would they just consider like, here's another game to play, and so play both?
Yeah, that part's weird. The idea of
Classic,
both, I'm
Classic,
sure
it would be even more of a time sink. Because it doesn't have all this quality of life stuff. Yeah. It has the 40-man raids, which granted, I would say that would be interesting enough. Interesting enough to dedicate, like, playing the whole game for it? I don't think so, but yeah, getting 40 people together sounds fun. Hopefully enough people will decide to play that those groups can form up. I don't know, it's a very intriguing idea.
Yeah.
That, like, WoW, or Blizzard, I guess, saw enough monetary value that they wanted to do this.
Yeah.
I guess people already did it.
Yeah. When I read it, I didn't take it as, like, this is them trying to make money. not that that's what you're saying. I'm just saying, in my mind, I took it as people are leaving our game because they're either over it or think we did things wrong. Let's use this to bring them back, kind of a thing. Like that was like I didn't even think of it as like a money thing. Like I'm sure it isn't. Obviously, it's a money thing. They want money, but that was how I took it. It was like their counter to people leaving.
But I mean, so I guess yeah, I don't know how many people like lost it, but it's like if you played any of the expansions and you kept playing, I mean, I guess but then you left. Would classic hold so much appeal they go back just for that? Again, keep in mind, it is classic. It's not like you pick the point in time that you most love. Wow,
Yeah.
like this is only the beginning.
Yeah, that part seems a little weird. Like I guess, cause I agree. I feel like what you're saying would be more appealing to more people. I think pick the point in time, but then how do you even do that? That seems hard. Like you'd have like multiple servers or something, and like each one was at a different point.
But it's like, I think that's a summoner weapon. Oh,
Yep, it is. Hey, Julie.
Like there were people I think who had their own private servers, which I was like an against the rules kind of thing, but I mean it just kind of happened, or was maybe a blind eye sort of thing, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like, again, Blizzard saw whatever to be all right, we're gonna take this on ourselves. And, yeah, I don't know. Oh, that's kind of cool. I enjoyed first seeing, I'm blanking on this guy's name.
Whose name?
Former robe dude with a beard who no longer has a beard. Oh no, he does still have the beard, kind of. It's a good thing. The astrologian.
Oriange?
Yeah, Oriange. When you're like around first meeting, it was like, oh, did you notice anything different about me? And I said, oh, did you lose weight? And he's like, if by weight you mean I shed some clothing, yes, I did. So it's cool that they, like, some of those things, they at least eventually point out, like, oh, he looks totally different, and he's an astrologian. And Bancred, like, oh, suddenly he's a gunbreaker. Yeah. Like, they at least address it, which is nice.
Yeah. Let's see. It is interesting that you can skip Savage Alpha Scape and go right to Delta Scape. Or Sigma Scape or whatever the second one is.
Yeah.
Alright, I've unlocked Savage. I did something weird. I haven't used it yet, but it's there. I created it, I split off my battle thing, like my chat log. I've split it off, and I have it just above, like I don't even know what my left one is. It's something. So I've got my right one, which is like my chat. That's like where I do all my talking. I don't know what's on the left. It just shows stuff sometimes. Like I'm sure it's useful. It tells me like that's like where my experience would be and lotting, I guess, but not even lotting, just what I won and other people won, not actual rolls. Let's see what else. I think that's why I see shouts and emotes and stuff. Okay, point is, who cares? But right above that I added the battle one, but I only made it 2 lines. And I basically took off everything that was on there, and I'm basically just showing what the most recent attack the person I'm attacking did. And my reasoning behind it was that I kept missing, or not missing, but I wanted to see things that were used in terms of like what you could cancel, you know, with that little new icon. But I feel like I'm not even using it, but for some reason I'm keeping it there. If that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense at all. I basically wanted somewhere where I could see where people were doing, and I think I wanted to see how often they're doing it, maybe. I don't know. I don't know its purpose, but I feel like I wanted something. So that's what.
So I recall seeing that in the screenshot you sent, and was wondering about what is it? That looks like a very tiny chat log. I don't know what you mean about canceling new thing. What new
the new like silence, like the stun, where it has like the little border around the spell they're casting.
Oh yeah. So you want to see when people are doing that?
I think so, but at the same time, I think I want to know not necessarily that they're doing it, but it's like when they do it, I want to be able to look at my log over there and be like, oh, that's the move they're doing. To like just, I don't know why. I think it's just curiosity, because I feel like a lot of them are so fast that nothing's happening. Like I'm not doing anything with it. Like I always forget that I can stun it with most of, I think every job has something that could stun it. But I don't, well, I guess that's what I'm saying, is I have no idea what my purpose is. I'm telling you that I did it.
I mean, it sounds like you have a purpose. You might be finessing what you get out of it, or like how to best get what you're looking for out of it. But it seems a very clear purpose.
Yeah.
But no, we're good. I know sometimes it does seem like those come really fast.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they're doing something you can interrupt. But like by the time you register that it's something to interrupt, and like I think there's a bit of a delay of whether just input delay or like actual delay, kind of how Bard stuff, like you press an ability but then it doesn't like damage for a split second or whatever. Yeah, it often feels like I am not doing my stun in time or interrupt in time to actually have it be useful. So while it's a nice indicator, I think I'm still struggling a bit to be successful. So I applaud your attempts to make something of it.
Alright. So justified now.
Exactly.
Hold on. I thought... Oh, I already did that? Yes, I already upgraded that. Apparently I'm capped on tombstones, so I should spend them. Oh.
You should go tell everyone in chat, oh man, look, I'm capped on tombstones again.
It happens, man. Here. Oh. You know what? Where are you at? Have you picked up the next, Omega yet?
No, because we queued and now I'm in the cutscene, so I will be teleported away.
Okay, no worries.
But I will pick it up after this.
I enjoyed the title because I know about it. And I've wanted to say it, but I haven't said it just because I didn't want to spoil it.
Oh, I am curious to see what it is then.
Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's anything super special, but and I'm sure as soon as you play it, you're gonna be like, oh, I've seen this, because I feel like maybe you won't, but I feel like I've seen this fight so many times online. I don't know why. I feel like people just use it as like their stock footage fight. But yeah.
Interesting. Well, I'll be curious to see.
Where are you? Is it here? Here exchange maybe? Ah, here we go.
Also, it's funny that at the end of the dungeon, they're like, we're going to make you one of us. And as it turns out, all they do is try to drown you. Because I guess they're born of souls of drowned people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, joke's on you, suckers. I can breathe underwater. As our shadowy spirit friend is like, I don't know where you learned to breathe underwater, but good for you, yo.
it's been very useful. We should really go thank that guy.
Right? And like get all of our team to, go through the same thing.
Yeah. Skaven shellac. But it does still really annoy me that the chocobo literally cannot be on the top of the water, but it can be underwater.
Yeah, that's stupid. That
I need
better
that.
Be a
I need that quality of life in my life.
Yeah. Like they don't need to go fast. Just make it normal swim speed if they want.
Yeah.
If we've not unlocked flying yet, that's all good.
Yep.
Even though it still doesn't make sense, because even if you haven't unlocked flying, you could swim super fast underwater. So, really, they just bit themselves. Like, what were you guys thinking?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like they felt the need to tie it together. Mount in water means, well, I guess technically, let's see. No, they have it themselves because they made underwater a separate instance. For lack of better phrasing, that's basically what it is. So it's like underwater is its own thing. So fine, underwater, mount up, you're all good. Above water is its own thing. And in above water land, you're either mounted running, mounted flying, or you're swimming. It's like even like mounts are never in water. You just fly. Right? Like even when you're once you have even flying unlocked, I don't think you're actually ever swimming while mounted, right? You're either flying on the surface or you're diving down.
You could swim on the surface.
While mounted?
Uh-huh. Like if you just jump in without flying, then your person will swim just like we would swim on the surface.
But mounted.
While mounted, yeah. If you're flying and do it though, like and you like lower yourself down, then I think it will go underwater. And maybe that's what you're thinking of. Like you're either flying or under. So if you're flying and go down to it, then yes, it will register that as I'm diving down because you're pushing the diving button. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Then yeah, I have no clue. They're just silly.
Agreed.
I was trying to give them benefit of the doubt, even if it meant crappy programming. But it seems no matter how you look at it, they're just silly.
They don't deserve it. Shellac. I like how I'm buying all this stuff for my I'm buying it for my samurai with all my tomes. Like just getting it this eye level 470 gear. And I don't even plan on playing my samurai, I'm pretty sure. I just need to spend it on
Wait,
something.
400? Like the level 80?
Level 70, eye level 480.
You mean 380?
No. Did I say 480? I meant to say 400. Didn't I say 400? Level 70.
You said 480.
Level 70, item level 400. Sorry. That's what I meant.
Okay, got it. Yes. That makes sense. And I mean, it's fine. Like, what else are you going to spend your tomes on? Like, you might as well.
No.
I'm sure if there was something you might more use, you probably already bought it already.
Yeah, I also spent my tomes, or my wolf marks, just buying my, my dragoons, to be dragoon, level 60 gear. I was like, I have like, what, level 30? Whatever. I'll probably accidentally spend it, or like turn it in at the Grand Company person by mistake. It's like,
yeah, right.
For? But, oh well. Alright. Why can't... Is that upgradable? It should be upgradable. There we are. I need a Skaven Esther. Alright, able to get to 390.
The responses here are both just seem like arrogant / asshole kind of comment. It's when Alice and Alphino are going with the fairies to see if the people coming are invaders and if we need the fairies' help.
Mm-hmm.
So like, alright, you're going to do the relic hunting on your own now. So your options are either, don't worry, I've done this sort of thing before. It's like, kind of again, an arrogant, like, come on, I've been around the block. Or, it's fine, defeating the Light Warden would have always fallen to me. Like, you guys are useless anyway, this was always my job.
Yeah.
It's no matter what you pick.
That's silly. I feel like I have noticed some of those choices a bit more in this expansion, where they're just like, they give you a lot more of those arrogant possibilities, where I feel like back in the past it's been like more like, not, I shouldn't say like know your role, but maybe slightly more respectful.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I'm not mad about. I think it's nice to give people those options if they're feeling that way, because I feel like a lot of times you and I have said stuff like that, so it's nice to have that option.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a little more noticeable.
Yeah. But so it just comes back to, it'd be nice if any of it ever actually mattered.
Yeah. Well, that's a
like, even if it's just like
entirely
4 or 5 dialogue boxes after, if it could be reflective of what you said, like just show something.
Yeah.
And then that's a bit more of a natural way to lead back into whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it at least would give some acknowledgement to your choice, rather than what usually feels like a very forced reply or interaction, or a very generic reply that would have worked no matter what you chose.
Yeah.
But all that we've discussed before, that choices are irrelevant.
Except Que.
Except Que. Alright, accept this next my story and I'll go grab Omega. Oh, so I'm glad there's a bit more interesting stuff going on with the light versus dark stuff. How is when they're talking about how like on the first, how you have umbral and astral, and how they describe those with like one's passive and one's active, and how what did they say? How umbral and astral somehow like speak to the results, like the after effects or something, but then here on whichever one this one is called at the first, they're like, oh, they describe based on like root cause or something, and how one is passive or blah, and so they call it light. Then the other is active, so they call it dark. So even if I'm just making shit up in my head, it gives me hope, or just thoughts of, oh, maybe that's more of the, you know, at least it's a bit more depth to the idea of being a warrior of darkness.
Yeah.
Like, there's just more to it rather than just like slapping on a literal description of, all right, blinding light, and we bring this night sky back, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I found that interesting, especially when they tied that into the black rose poison, and how like that is also essentially light spect and slowing stuff down, and tied that with here on the first, the actual light passiveness feeding to the source, and blah blah blah, all of that, which is I found very interesting.
Yeah. I feel like they possibly are going somewhere with it, but I don't actually know that will line up with where you want to go with it, but or where you thought it could go, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I do know that they talk a little bit more about some stuff, so I'm not sure if it's the direction you want it to go or where your mind originally was. But I know that they're not fully just dropping it, moving on. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had anything in mind per se. They just, again, and as I interpreted things, they just built up the idea so much that I just want something there.
Yeah.
And so when it was seeming like they were just being incredibly literal with no depth to it whatsoever, that's where my disappointment came from.
Yeah.
It's blinding light. We take that away, so you have a normal night sky and cycle, so it's literally bringing on the darkness. That's where I was like, really? That just seems very lazy and, again, just very misleading. So it wasn't that I had anything in mind, I just want them to do something of depth. That's why, like, even just something simple as, oh, they're calling it light and dark versus umbral and astral, and like how those actually have meaning, you know, with passive versus active, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like even just that is enough to, you know, get something of, oh hey, interesting. Like I'm glad they're doing something.
Yeah.
So
based on that response, I don't think it is, but I do think it's something more interesting. I think the part that's interesting you'll like, but in following with what you're, I think I keep going back to the become the warrior of darkness line. I don't think you'll necessarily get that, but they are doing something more interesting, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's that part, like, I mean, I don't know, I guess you could try to do it how I would have in mind. Like, thinking Heaven's Word, for example. Like, Dragoon was the star of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, no one had to be a Dragoon, but that role was a clear role in fighting the dragons, and Estinian was a Dragoon. So even though we didn't have to be, like, it still played a big part.
Yeah.
Shadowbringers, so not only was Dark Knight kind of like the featured role, but I guess I just call it that. It's the featured role, like the Dark Knight.
Yep.
And even say like become the Warrior of Darkness, which, okay, maybe that's on us for making the connection of Dark Knight, but it's like it seemed very deliberate that they're like, yeah, Dark Knight, Warrior of Darkness, of course.
Yep.
But so far, like, that seems to have zero relevance. Maybe, again, it's still early, so they still could be doing it. But again, based off that first dungeon where it's, oh, you're already the Warrior of Darkness because you brought the light. It's like, okay, no, the role Dark Knight has zero relevance whatsoever. Despite being hyped up and sold up in the trailer, like, you by no means in any way or form need to be a Dark Knight. Like, the Dark Knight itself, like, we don't even know anyone that's a Dark Knight. Everyone's a dancer now, or a gunblade person.
Yeah, that's true.
So that was like just those kind of bits and pieces is what just kind of fed that idea of just being so misleading.
Yeah.
Unlike, or like, just call it misleading, or call it just not like setting improper expectations. Like, looking at what they've done in the past and how it all flowed, it all made sense. Again, Dragoon, and Stormblood, you have Monk, and like at least played a big role with Lise and whatever, and Samurai being the new, or one of the new jobs, so obviously played a big role in just the whole Far Eastern theme. Mm-hmm. So they set that prior expectation of, yeah, what you see in the trailer, that's kind of how it played out.
Yeah.
But then this one is where it's complete, like they kind of threw that away. So that's why it's just not at all what I was expecting.
Yeah, I feel like they just thought it looked.
I
feel like they just thought it looked cool for a trailer to do that.
And it 100% did. It just, I guess, would have been nice if they found a way to back it up. Not just they look cool, but actually make sense. Yeah. That's usually what they do in their games. Like, it's usually nothing is just for show. Like, it all does work together in a cohesive way.
But I guess, I mean, I guess I'm probably not sure fully what you mean in the sense that, like, the last expansion, Stormblood, the whole theme was Far East, but you didn't, and they showed you as a samurai, but you don't have to become a samurai. This one, the whole idea of Warrior of Darkness, so they show a Dark Knight, but you don't have to become a Dark Knight. So I guess I don't follow that piece exactly.
Well, so
because the theme of light and dark is very much so in this one. They just happen to show you as a Warrior of Darkness because that kind of is the only job that embodies that idea a little bit, but like, because they don't really have like a job that embodies the world otherwise, so they would just pick some random job. Like, if they showed, I guess I'm trying to think, like, if they showed just you as a paladin, well, paladin's a bad choice because that's usually the light. If they just showed you as like a machinist, but you happen to have like this purple glow, would you have the same problem with it? Like, is it? I guess that's the part I'm trying to think about.
So for Stormblood, nothing ever suggested in any way that you had to be a samurai. It was clearly just a theme. Like, yes, it showed what we see as like who's portrayed as the Warrior of Light being a samurai, not because they had to be, just, okay, we're in the Far East now, so that's a thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was played up throughout, not through us, like it doesn't have to be through us, but Gosetsu was a samurai. Everything Doma, samurai. It's like it fit the theme in that sense.
Yeah.
But nothing said we had to be one.
Mm-hmm.
For Shadowbringers, I guess maybe two kind of parts to it is it's actually saying become the Warrior of Darkness. Like at no point prior did it say become a dragoon, become a samurai.
Well, yeah, but
like,
a Warrior of Dark. I feel like a Warrior of Darkness isn't a Dark Knight.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
So that's where it's like on me or on. I'll just say on me for making the leap of Warrior of Darkness means Dark Knight, but they did play that up in the trailer as, okay, the person who's supposed to represent us cycled through however many jobs trying to beat this thing and nothing worked. The only thing that worked was a Dark Knight. So that's where, even though they said Warrior of Darkness, through the video, the implication seemed deliberately and intentionally Dark Knight equals Warrior of Darkness. Because it's a Dark Knight that was able to defeat the Light Warden, or whatever you want to call what was being fought in the trailer. So there's that part where Sid just made that connection of, okay, it's the Dark Knight specifically that have the power to do it.
I'll give
but
you that
so
part.
far, nothing in the expansion is giving any special power, emphasis, or anything on the Dark Knight class.
Yeah.
So tied with that, even if it wasn't us, even if we met, say, an equivalent Estinian of, hey, I'm a Dark Knight, and, you know, insert some reason why that matters, and why they are a key component in battling everything. But like I said, that kind of goes back to nothing about Dark Knight. Dark Knight is nothing outside the trailer. Everything so far is Gunbreaker and Dancer, because those are the new jobs. Even though Dark Knight was kind of the focus throughout the trailer, like Become the Warrior of Darkness. So that's where I see it different here, because how they play it up, but outside the trailer, it may as well not matter.
Mm-hmm. No, I think based on the fact that I think based on the fact that they did cycle through all the jobs and then end up there, I agree that's a little misleading. Because, I mean, I think all the jobs they were showing were all of the previous expansion jobs. I think it started off as a warrior, maybe, which was a Realm Reborn, and then it did Dragoon, and then it did Samurai, and then it ended up on Warrior, so I almost said Warrior of Darkness. It ended up on the Dark Knight, which I agree, it makes it seem like that is the one, like that part is a little funky if they're basically being like, I did grab that one. If they're saying, it's like they're saying that's what you need to become. So I definitely agree with that piece. And agree, but so I guess that's just I guess I don't get as caught up on that, only because I feel like their pure intention, I think you agree, was basically just, it looks cool, we're going to do that. At this point, I think you at least get that point. So I guess it doesn't bother me as much, but I definitely can see how you got that impression, for sure, based on what they did with it.
Yeah, like, I definitely agree. It looks awesome. Like, nothing will beat just how badass the trailer is. And I'll just clarify, like, I clearly have thoughts, but that doesn't mean I'm upset by it.
You hate it. No, just kidding.
I have thoughts.
No, it's fine.
Because, again, it stands out, I think, because of kind of the pattern their setting. And I know that is at least something for me is I do tend to pick up on patterns, or just kind of if I see behavior that like sets in me kind of a baseline of what to expect. When things go against that expectation, it generally stands out. So that's not talking about games, that's just talking about anything in life. That's, I think, even one of my issues is that I get too hung up on prior behavior and building up expectations that drives future behavior. So I think that's why it stands out a bit more. And even that could be just total bullshit and reading way too much into it. Like I know that's a thing for me, but who knows if that actually plays into this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it stands out more. Like it did stand out more. Again, it's kind of based on what they've done in the past. But
Related.
I'll also say though, I know it's still early, so they may or may not do anything with it. I'm not gonna like expect them to knock it out of the park per se with. Again, like you said, I think we're in agreement that they just wanted a badass trailer, and they accomplished that.
Yeah.
So I'll just kind of leave my expectations there.
Yeah, I don't expect them to do anything with Dark Knight at all. I think they just wanted a job, and that was the coolest one. And I think I think that's
a fairly safe assumption.
Yeah. But as for the Word of Darkness, I think they are doing something with that. But I was gonna say that I did the Temple of the Fist with you and Kevin, and that was the monk one, and I finally turned it in just recently, and the lady was all talking about being a monk and wanting to do it, and I feel like it's a weird one in the sense that they make it sound like, so I was a monk, and so they talked to me potentially different, I assume, than someone who wasn't a monk, but then it made me really wish they had class only ones, but then I realized that would be stupid. Like, you might as well just, like, that's too excluding, because then people feel like they have to do every job to be able to do this content, unless, or also I think the problem would be that they would feel like they have to make this content for every job, which I would prefer they wouldn't if they were to go that route. Once again, I know they will never do this, but I just thought that'd be a cool idea. But then I was thinking, wouldn't that just be like a job quest? It wouldn't actually be a dungeon. Like, they basically already do that kind of stuff. I don't know, something in the fact that she talked about that maybe really wish that, but because I guess dungeons are different than instances, because those are solo. I think it'd be a cool idea to have something where you and other fellow monks, not that I am a monk, do this dungeon when you're queuing, but I feel like that also would be problematic. There's like so many problems with it. I just think it's a cool idea. Not that I expect anyone to do anything with it, that is all.
Yeah, like in a game like this, the execution of something like that would be problematic. The reason you said.
So much.
Is that okay?
Even things I haven't said.
Yeah. Like, do all the jobs, get them all to whatever appropriate level to do whatever this content is.
Yeah.
But the idea is definitely cool.
Yeah.
Like, that would be kind of neat having, like you said, this whole dungeon was monk-centric in theme, not in requiring us to be monks.
Yeah.
But it would be kind of cool to have more, like, in some form, a bit more class identity.
Yeah.
Like, I think in my endless comparisons to WoW, that's something I probably bring up. Is how it's like, here it's just, you can do everything.
Yeah.
So nothing really stands out, and because the idea of, like, it seems so much is built around or keeps in mind the fact that the typical person really probably only has one character. Like, you don't need multiple.
Yep.
So fewer like class specific stuff. No race bonus. Because you'll just be one class.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like WoW was built around theoretically like one character, but that character can only be one thing. Like, your character actually meant more to you because of those unique factors.
Yeah.
It was just a class. And because if you wanted to do multiple classes, you had to create something new. Races were more meaningful. So those had abilities.
Yeah.
And they had, I think, a couple. Really, I think it's just one expansion in particular really had like a class identity as like kind of the driving theme, where they basically had what they called battle halls for
Mhm.
each class, and that kind of became your go-to point, kind of like how every expansion here has a new city state, where that kind of becomes where everyone hangs out.
Yeah.
More for the most part, your class hall kind of became your go-to, and it was cool because WoW is Horde versus Alliance. Typically, you're always enemies, but for this expansion, Horde and Alliance went to the same class hall,
Okay.
because in this case, like, people were generally working together.
Yeah, they finally found a mutual ground, so to speak.
Yeah, like there was still plenty of story-driven like PvP stuff, so everyone's still at war.
Yeah.
But at least in these class halls, it's like everyone kind of got along.
Yeah.
And on top of that, everyone, like for that expansion, um, every class had a legendary weapon, and it was meant as this will be your one and only weapon for the expansion. And the idea around it was like you basically level it up with you. So it grows in power as you do. You give it stats, it grants you different abilities. So just everything about the expansion highlighted your class and like made you feel badass with your class.
Yeah.
So that was actually, I think, one of my favorites. Just because as a hunter, I loved the things they did with the hunter weapons. And they're just really freaking awesome. But again, it's designed around that. One character, one class.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be a neat idea if they could find a way to make it work.
Yeah, that is something I forget a lot in this game, is that people aren't as tied to their personal identity to one thing. Like, in theory, Kevin is probably the closest we have, only for the fact that he is basically all tanks. He has one samurai, but at the same time, he has dabbled in other tanks. You would need like someone who literally just did one job and didn't dabble in other stuff to get that equivalent, which is like so rare in this game.
Yeah.
Especially considering the fact that you can't. Especially considering the fact the game doesn't even let you start a certain job. So even if someone really wanted that purest one thing, but they wanted like to be a dancer or anything that is in Heaven Resort, etc., they couldn't do that. Like they literally have to do another job just to get to that job.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know in Final Fantasy XI, people did that sometimes, only for the fact that they did have very significant race stats. So people could be like, I'm going to be this race and this just for these jobs, and I'm going to be this race for these jobs. And it was actually mostly just this one job, like those the hardcore people. And I feel like those people definitely existed. But I don't think that exists here because they got rid of that idea. So there's really no reason to do that.
I would believe it if people did it, since every class does have different starting stats. I honestly wouldn't believe it makes any difference that matters.
Yeah,
but I would believe people do it anyway.
There probably are people that do it for that +3 instead of the +1.
Yeah, right. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, the differences are completely negligible. Like, race does not matter at all.
Yeah.
It is 100% cosmetic, which I won't labor the point. Another one we've discussed. I think it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But you said it was one class in particular in Final Fantasy XI that people wanted a specific race
for? Basically, the little Arlalafels, which were Tarus, they had really high mana and less life, so they were basically mages. And you've got the big, I guess, Rogadins, would be tanks because they had a lot of life and vitality, and like the cats would be better dexterity, I want to say.
Agility.
So they're, yeah, like actually I think it was agility. So I think they were better rangers and thieves and just stuff like that. So like just ones that were built for it. And then you had like the Humes, which I guess is the hires. They were more middle ground, so they could do more of everything. So hardcore people like didn't play those at all, just because it's like you're not you're not really good at anything.
Yeah, you're
And
so well.
and I don't recall what the Elven were. Maybe the Elvens were agility and the Mithra, the cats were dexterity. That makes more sense to me probably. Because in my mind, Elvens were the Rangers, which would be agility. So I don't know.
Mm.
Also, I really wish they would bring freaking Ranger to this game. I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like it would be an easy thing to do, but I guess that would imply that you think they've changed this job back to be a bard, which I think you said they didn't. I feel like you seem to imply that it became more of a ranger than a bard, so to speak.
That's what I feel like. Like
Yeah.
I thought that people were thinking, or the patch notes were implying that it was going back to some bard roots or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what those were, but I would say it 100% feels like a ranger.
Yeah.
Like besides the lore leading up to it via job quests, but obviously everything's around being a bard and music.
Yeah.
This is a ranger class. Like the only bard component are the 3 songs. But even then, it's like, yes, they're songs, but they still only benefit you.
Oh, they don't help
Nothing.
the group anymore?
I mean, maybe they still have a small group benefit, but their intent is still to benefit you. It procs your single target or AoE DPS, or it increases your speed, or it gives you a big bursty shot. Like it feels surface level bard, again with the weapons, that some have a harp attached to it, with the clothing, with some of the job quests, but like it's still 90% feels like a ranger class,
Yeah.
where it's just all about your bow skills,
Well, good.
and bard seems secondary.
Well, good. I think they should have split it and made Bard more Bardy and Ranger more Rangy. Although I feel like, based on their last conversation, that they don't like Bard. They don't want Bard in the game. They don't want those kinds of jobs in the game, which is weird to me. They don't want jobs that other people rely on, if that makes sense. It seems
No,
like,
it does. Yeah, because it's then you're gonna have those things where like, okay, you have to have this class or this build, and
yeah,
makes it very restrictive. And it's hard.
yeah,
Like I'm not. It's very easy being the player and criticizing it, but I have to believe it is very hard to make classes that feel unique and feel like your class. But even though you want them unique, you can't have them so unique that you're then forcing people to bring certain things.
agreed.
I saw that conversation endlessly in WoW, as people always found like, okay, here's the ideal makeup to bring, and you want this class and this spec and not these ones, and blah blah blah. So I definitely get it.
I do not envy their job.
Yeah, not at all. But the concept is cool. Like if they could get it to work, like a true support. But it's like it seems they did that with Dancer. Like, yeah, they're DPS, but that one I've not really played it yet. I've unlocked it but not played it. But it seems very support heavy.
Yeah.
So
I remember somebody making a comment in one of the videos I listened to that they're talking about, like, we're getting rid of this, but this reliance on other jobs, and yet you're giving Dancer all these things that make it seem like people are going to want to have that and rely on it. What the heck? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, it's the fair. It's like all these fireworks going off in the sky in Gridania right now.
oh, yeah, I forgot that's going on. Another thing to do.
Yeah, I need to get us our blow-up pool.
What pool? Oh yeah, the blood pool.
Yeah.
So is this one where we have to farm stuff, or is it just complete the quest and that's it?
I haven't looked at it yet because I haven't actually been able to find out where it starts. I don't see it anywhere in Gridania, even though, of course, there's fireworks and different music, but it's not at the amphitheater as far as I can tell, and it's not in the south area, so maybe it starts in a different city. I'm not sure. It's on my list. Not any physical list at all, just in my brain, so that means I'll forget. No! Also, I really like that they let you... that they tell you when you have a hunt by you. Completely random and unrelated to anything. I like that they tell you when one of your hunts is nearby. I think it's a cool feature for the bigger ones, like the elite ones. They like tell you like it's in the zone or you sense it or something, which I think is really neat. Basically, you know it's spawned at that point.
Well, I mean, hopefully it's a bit more than that, because as far as I've seen and read and heard, it's basically always spawned. Like
Well,
it spawns within
I think they
seconds
tell
of
you it's like by you, I guess.
So if it is that,
It's
like
nearby.
a true proximity, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, it's not like it's not it's not like what do you call it? It's not like using your ethereal compass where it'll tell you how many yoms, but I did it the other day when I was running around a zone and it told me it was nearby. So and it was like literally like really close to me. So it probably is not a respawn thing. Cause I think the respawn, I thought it was like 5 minutes, but maybe it's instant, like you said. In which case, if someone kills it, it's just right back up. Which would make sense. This is
That's basically how I've read it, because
those 5 minutes are stupid if it is 5 minutes. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
But considering, considering it was right next to me. Oh, see, oh, there you go. Actually, it tells you the direction. You sense your mark to the southwest. Convenient.
Even better.
Even better. Let's go punch its face. There it is. Hi, you were southwest of me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Also, I saw the quest. In the beginning, there was chaos.
There was chaos. Oh, yes.
Is that... I think Final Fantasy IV wasn't chaos. I don't think. I think chaos was in Super Mario World.
Super Mario World. Oh. I think chaos is in Final Fantasy 1 for some reason, but I don't actually 100%. I don't actually 100% recall exactly which Final Fantasy he was. I just know I've seen the battle against Chaos many times.
Okay, I don't think I've seen that battle, so that should be fun.
So I just knew Chaos was coming. I actually didn't know Chaos was from Omega until we started doing all the Omega stuff, and I was like, oh, like I know Chaos is someone from Final Fantasy, and just wasn't sure who. And I was like, well, we're doing all this stuff, like clearly it's gonna be in this somewhere, so.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting, seeing as how I feel like they've all. I don't recall the first one, but I feel like when I looked it up online, they like the first four. I feel like they had a theme of some sort. I feel like they were from a certain Final Fantasy or something. So it'd be interesting if the last group is either all from potentially, I guess, Final Fantasy 1, or if it'd be like all bosses, which would be cool. Although Kefka kind of broke that, but I don't know. I'll be curious to see what's coming. But in theory, Chaos is the first one. So all unknowns after that.
Because wasn't... Obviously, Sigma was Final Fantasy VI. I forget already what Delta was.
Yeah, I don't recall. I remember I feel like I remember I had to look up every single boss. But I feel like for some reason I think there was like some recurring theme. I don't know what it would be at the moment. But I don't think it was all from the same Final Fantasy. I think they were different ones. But I don't recall. I might just be a crazy person. It is late. Speaking of which, I'm going to return home and log out.
Yeah, so I need to get to bed too.
But yes, you should drop some of your daily stuff and work on MSQ. Because I was just thinking about
Yeah,
that
that's
today. I was like thinking about that today. I was like, I can't keep going at some point. Like I'm not super far ahead of you for sure. I've done one primal, but your primal is coming very soon, as you know, because you're working towards getting the stuff for the primal. And then I just did a dungeon, but I feel like I weirdly feel like I've done a lot and not much at all between the primal and the dungeon. But I think that's just because I've been doing all this other stuff. I think the game sends you a lot of places, but maybe it doesn't actually do it. I don't know. Like I feel like I haven't actually done a lot of content, but who knows? But point is, I thought you had already. When you took the picture, you were outside the castle. So in my mind, I was like, oh, he's at the primal, but then I didn't realize you hadn't done the dungeon. That's why I was like, oh, we should do the dungeon. Because that was kind of our mental note was once we get to 2 dungeons, you need to stop. You're too far ahead. So that was me thinking,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm probably getting too far. Even though I feel like I haven't been doing a lot. Although I guess the fact that my brother and that are here means I probably won't be playing as much. And I know you were doing your thing, so in theory,
Yeah,
our ships are passing each other.
Yeah, I'll try to catch up a bit. So there's the primal, and then you're the dungeon. You're at the dungeon after the primal.
Yeah, I literally just did it this afternoon,
Yeah.
so I'm not anywhere beyond that. No rush. I don't want you to feel rushed. I was just letting you know where I'm at.
Yeah, no, like I was saying earlier, like I've already been kind of having that thought of, I feel like I'm spending way too much time doing crap just to do the crap.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need poetics. I don't need experience. Technically, even at this point, I don't need MGP. But that one, like if I'm going to do anything, I would still try to do those just because like there is actually a crap ton that I would still like to buy.
Yeah.
Or not necessarily a crap ton, but it's also freaking expensive that you need a crap ton.
Yep.
So that one I think I will try to do, but otherwise
I think that one's valid.
if I can cut out some of the other stuff just because it's, yeah, I know I don't need. Yeah, I know I don't. Especially since I think I've actually just about like I think I pretty much have everything I need for my 3rd anima if I ever actually do a 3rd anima.
All right.
Like I definitely don't need more poetics at this point.
I don't know.
But yeah, I am, as far as I know, I'm here through Friday night, and then I'll be spending the weekend with Michelle.
Okay.
So I definitely expect I should get some main story progress. So
Alright, cool.
if we're back to schedule next week, Monday or Tuesday, whatever we do, I don't know if we're going to try anything with the, I don't recall Kevin and Tone's schedules, if we're doing Monday or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
Point being,
recall.
I'm rambling. We both need to go, but we should be able to do some main story quests or whatever else caught up together.
Okay.
Soon.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, dude. You have yourself a good night.
You too. It was fun. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, likewise. It was really fun.
Yeah.
All right. Night, dude.
Good night.
All right. Bye.
Bye.